Okay, so this will be part 3. So we have actually seen previously on how do we actually do the aggregating of the data, and this is the final section of selection of data. So we have actually done something similar previously. So let's say how do we actually work with certain subsets of a data set. So let's look at the myFrame4. We have actually already done this myFrame4, but let's I just copy and paste it here. So this is from the earlier section. So we have this myFrame4. So this is actually copied from the earlier segment. We have done this myFrame4. So you can search for myFrame4 and you'll be able to find. Right? So under myFrame4, we have actually seen the myFrame4. So we can actually view all the columns by using the attribute columns. So you just have to use myFrame4, then you do use dot columns. So this, columns. So this will display the list of columns that is actually there in the myFrame. And likewise, we can also view the index by using the same kind of approach attributes, myFrame4 dot index. So this will show all the index, right? So let me see. So I think the index I also just show it there, the same place. Just put it here. We have the columns and also the index. You can actually see the index as well. So of course, we can also select. So this one, let's remove this. We can also select a single column to be displayed. So myFrame4 by using the square bracket and specifying the column 2, for example. So earlier we can actually see the names of the columns, right? So we can see column 0, column 1, column 2. So we can select any columns and we can display the content, each rows of that particular column. So we can also extract each rows as we have seen earlier. I think this is what we actually selected, the single column portion part. And we can also use the column name as an attribute for our data frame. So that is what we did earlier. Sorry, I think I missed it. So it should go to be myFrame4, then use the attribute straight away. Column 2. So it works the same way. So either you can straight away use the attribute of column 2, or you can specify it in this manner. myFrame square bracket, and you can specify the name of the attribute. So these are the two ways that you can actually access to a particular column. And of course, we have also done this before. That means how we can actually select and extract the rows from each data. So let's say if you want to extract the rows with index 1 and 2, not including index 3, then we should type the following command. So we should type myFrame, then we use a square bracket from index 1 to index 2. Remember, it is always one row before. Oh, sorry, not myFrame. This is myFrame4. Mistake. Yeah, so it actually filter out all the rows from row 1, which is the starting, and the ending is always -1, so row 2. So this is based on the index. And sometimes you can also straight away use the attribute location. We have before this we have used the attribute location, and we can use this to access the rows by the names of the indices. So we can use the attribute location LOC. So how can we actually do that? So let's say you want to access all the attributes in row 1. So we can type myFrame4 then use the location function, and you can specify, let's say you want to view all attributes in respect to row 1. So it only will show you all the row 1 values and what are their respective columns, right? And the rows and columns of data frame can be given meaningful names. We have actually done this before, but let's do that again. So we can specify, like my frame 4, we need to use the keyword which is index, and we use name. So in this way we can actually assign the name. So we can put as rows. This is actually assigning the index name and also the column name. So my frame 4 columns and name. So we can rename them. So we can put as columns, and now try to display my frame 4. So this one, you see, you can actually give meaningful name to each columns and rows. And we can also add columns to the existing data frame by using new column name and assigning values to this column. We have also done this before, but let us actually look at it. Earlier this column only has until 3 rows, right? 3 rows and also total of 5 columns, but column 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's say we want to add another column 5. So how can we actually do that? So we just need to assign the column name, my frame 4. We're going to assign the column name as column 5, and we can assign any values to this particular column. So we're going to use that NumPy random generator, and we're going to generate random integer number. So this could be, if we put 100, that means the value can be from 0 to 100, any value, and the size will need to be 3 because we only have 3 rows, right? We only have 3 rows, 1, 2, 3. So you want to generate 3 numbers for that particular column. So when you do this, then you try to view my frame 4, then you okay, why it says I have to import NumPy as, okay, hold on, it said random integer doesn't have attribute okay, my mistake, I missed it, random integer. Okay, so yeah, you have the column 5. So we have actually used the num5 random generator module here to generate a number array of 3, and this is a random number from 0 to 100, which means 0 is inclusive, 100 is exclusive. That means 0 to 99. So let's say finally the last one, if not the last one, I think we have a few more things that we can actually do. So let's see what's the next one here. So let's say if you want to change a single value by selecting an element and updating it. So let's say if you want to update the element 1 of column 1. So how can we actually do that? So column 1 of this is column 1, then we want to update the element 1. So rows or elements, they are interchangeable. So either it could be row or element. So when you say element 1 means it's referring to row 1 and column 1. So that means we are interested in changing this particular value, right? So how can I actually specify that? So we can directly specify the index of it. So always we specify the column 1 and what is the row? It's row 1, and we're going to assign this to, let's say, another value 500 for example. So then you view my frame 4. Okay, let me see. Okay, my frame 4, I keep missing it. So you can see that now this column 1 and row 1 value has been updated. So similar to the series, we can actually use the function isIn to check the membership of a set of values. So for example, let's say this is our iframe 4. So let's say if you want to check, okay, so we're going to use the function isIn to check the membership of a particular values. So for example, let's see, let's go back to the, let me see. So here we're going to use the my frame 4. We're going to check isIn. So here we're going to use the membership function to actually check. So we can actually set a list of numbers that we want to check whether it's present or not. So let's go to the data frame. So maybe we choose the number 1, 4 and 500. We want to check whether the number 1, 4 and 500 is it within the data frame or not. So we can specify 1, 4, 500. So you can see that where these values are, this is actually the position of 1, right? So it returns true. This is position of 500, so it returns true. This is 4, so it returns true. All the others returns false. So this is how it actually returns the true or false. But let's say the same thing if you are, let me just copy this. If you use the Boolean values returned by the myFrame, which is what we have done earlier, and if we use it as indices to the data frame, then what you get a non-number values at location where the specified values are not present. Sorry, I saw something wrong. Okay. So if we are using it as indices, so that means my frame 4, we put it inside my frame 4, sorry, as an so earlier this is the myFrame4.isIn membership, right? So this is this will return a Boolean value, but if we use this return Boolean value as an indice to the myFrame4, then it will return only the values that is which is part of the membership, and all the other values are returned as not a number. So of course we have done this earlier also. To delete a column, we can actually use the keyword delete. So let's see if you want to delete the new column that we have created, which is column 5. So we can put my frame 4, we just specify column 5, and then when you try to view my frame 4, you will see that column 5 is no longer there. So this one, I'm just going to skip this because we have already done this for my frame 3, which is on the experience, whereby we can actually use the conditional operator to actually get experience years of more than 4. So this is actually similar to, we have done it before. Let me just show you, where is it? So on, I think this is the experience part. So long, so many things that we have done. So I think before this, yes, this one, this part, we can actually use that the conditional operator to actually extract out, return a value to only display experience of more than 4 years, for example. And of course, if you want to transpose, these are the two things. So we have already done this before, so I'm just going to skip. So that will be it for this chapter. The next chapter, then we will be looking at exploratory data analysis. So that will be our next chapter.